Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got one that's been requested by quite a few of you actually. It's from the new update and it's the BMW M3. I've been deliberately putting off doing this one on the channel for a drift build, primarily because I've been struggling with the gearing. When this update came down, most of the cars were fine, but this and the Pontiac both suffered with the same issue, which is gear changes seem to take a long time. At first I saw this as a problem maybe with the game itself, maybe a patch was going to come down to resolve the issue for both these cars. But since then I've looked around online, other people have been putting drift setups up and whatever else, and taking a look at it, a lot of them are sort of coming to the conclusion that the fact that it's a manual transmission car, it's been deliberately designed like that. Maybe it has, but I'm still not 100% convinced. It seems like a really slow shift. Even in real world terms, you're never going to take that long to actually change gear. But what it does do is cause a bit of a problem when you're drifting, certainly if you're going around some of the longer corners. I certainly like to change gear as I'm going through the drift so that I can extend it further. But with this, you just lose all power when you change gear, and that's it. You're going to lose your drift no matter what you try and do. But what I've done today is put together a drift setup like normal. You just have to bear in mind, obviously, those issues that I've mentioned before. It's going to work really well on certain tracks, something like Suzuka, where you could just leave it in one gear pretty much for the entire lap. It's going to be absolutely fine. But anything where you need to extend those skids and sort of change gear during the drift, I don't think this car is going to be best suited to it, to be honest. All that being said though, when you're not changing gear, the car does drift really well. You should be able to have a bit of fun with it. So what I'll do is I'll take you straight over to the settings now, where I'll discuss it a little bit further. So with the M3, you definitely want to be taking the power up on this one. Take it to level 4 there, and then take the ratio all the way to the top at 134%. That'll give you 556 brake. There is obviously more power there if you want to spend some extra mileage points, but I just don't think it's really required, to be honest. Weight though, I would take that all the way down to the bottom. So level 5, drop it to 85%. You're still going to be left with 1,406. It's still a pretty heavy car, to be honest with you, but it works all right. Traction control is set to 0. I've got comfort hards both front and rear in terms of the tyres. Brake balance remains exactly the same there at 0. Ride height, front and rear, I've taken all the way down to the bottom, just like all the builds, so at 90 and 90. The frequency here, I believe I adjusted, so you might want to pay attention to that. It's 1.9 on the front and 1.9 on the back. Same with the anti-roll bars here, you've got 6 on the front and 5 on the rear. In terms of the damping ratio, compression wise, it remains the same at 60-60. The same for the rebound as well at 90 and 90. Camber angle on the rear there is set to 0.6 and the front is set to 3. The toe I've set out on the front at 0.3 and in 0.1 on the back. Downforce you can't adjust. The LSD there, I don't think I've played with any of this. It looks like it's standard. It's 10, 40 and 20. And the transmission, I have set that to fully customized, mainly in an attempt to try and solve the gearing problem, but it didn't make any difference anyway. So the max speed is set to 155, which I'm pretty sure is what it came on in the first place. That should be everything you need to get out there and enjoy the car. I hope you enjoyed the setup I've done for you today. It would be really interesting to actually hear your thoughts on the gearing on this car, whether you've had an issue with it or whether it's just me being completely mad. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I've got videos like this coming out all the time, and I'll see you on the next one.